Hi, my friends. I'm back again. Welcome to my channel, We Can Do This. My name is Julie Vowd, and I am very appreciative to have you with me today. And I want to thank all my subscribers. And if you are new to my channel, I really, really appreciate you being here today. I'm very, very excited. So please remember, if you're with me today, hit the like button below, and please remember to subscribe. I have some amazing subscribers and support out there. So I really, really appreciate any support I get. And I love to get those thumbs up. The thumbs up are great. You know, it's really exciting for me whenever I get that. So I got to tell you, it's been a long couple weeks for me. We had physical inventory going on at my company. Got some overtime, which is always a good thing, good for the paycheck. Got some nice overtime. And, but I am sitting here on my deck today, as you can see, and it was supposed to rain today, and they were wrong. Gorgeous day. Gorgeous day. We're on the 21st of September. I am so excited about this. I love being outside in the nice weather, and I'm really, really glad you joined me today. So we are going to talk about a topic today that is challenging for all of us. I promise you that. And it is about forgiveness. Now, how many of us don't struggle with that? And we're going to talk today about some definitions of forgiveness that maybe people have that they really shouldn't have, that's not really accurate. So we're going to talk about, how challenging it is and what are some things about forgiveness and what can we do? What are some steps we can do to forgive others, and help us through this really, really hard process. What we have to remember is whenever we forgive somebody, we're allowing ourselves to make a good decision to let us go, let go of the pain in our past. We need to make that space and find that place in our life where we have happiness. And forgiving someone who's done wrong to us, no matter what it is. Some things are more extreme than other. Guys, I'm not kidding you. It has been quiet all afternoon, and now all of a sudden the wind just kicked up. This is like totally crazy. Anyway, but someone who's wronged you in the past, no matter what it is, what we need to do is clear out the mental clutter that goes on regarding the situation and get rid of the hate, get rid of the anger, get rid of the resentment, holding grudges, all of that. Because in our daily life, if we're constantly replaying a scenario over and over and over again that hurt us, we're going to hurt ourselves the most. It's not about somebody else. It's about we're going to personally continue to hurt ourselves, by reliving these really painful memories. It's majorly hard. We all know it. It's majorly hard to forgive somebody. So what can we do? How do we get rid of this baggage that we have that's weighing so heavily on us? And I think we need to start out with understanding what forgiveness is not. I think we all have preconceived notions of what it is. But what it isn't is you're not accepting what someone else did to you. Just because you forgive someone doesn't mean you condone what they did. That's not what it is. It doesn't mean that you're giving in to what happened. It's not that you're surrendering. It does not mean you're turning the other cheek, even though that's what we're supposed to do, but it's not about that either. And it definitely does not mean you're pretending that it didn't happen or it wasn't a big deal or a big problem or a big effect on your life. It doesn't also mean that your anger that you're feeling is not justified. Your anger is very much justified. That's not what forgiveness is about. And it absolutely does not mean that you need to force yourself to get along with that person who's hurt you. So, if you feel that forgiveness is any of these things, then that means you're probably going to be in a position where you're very reluctant to want to forgive somebody and you don't want to forgive somebody. I think what we need to do, and I'm guilty as well, we need to look at what forgiveness really is and truly is. You know, what forgiveness is about giving us back our energy. Okay, here's Mark. Hi, Mark. And people need to realize you need to do it before a loss and carry regrets. I couldn't agree more. None of us want to have regrets in our life. You know, what we need to do, it means that energy that we have, we're not wasting it on the negative. We need to find a better way to use the energy that we have in ourselves, you know, rather than being consumed with hating someone or, reliving a scenario over and over again. You know, quit dealing with the old wounds. We need to use that energy to be positive in our lives. It is very much about moving on in our lives. And I can tell you, I had a situation in my life, and it was work related, where I didn't want to forgive someone for a very long time. And I've been working on it for over 5 years. I'm not going to lie. It's definitely been a journey for me, but I can tell you, while it was a challenge to get there, I'm very much there. And I do forgive them, but we need to move on. There is a lot to be said with going on to the next chapter in our lives. It's very refreshing, and it can bring a lot of happiness into your life. It's about choosing happiness. Happiness is a lot funner than anger and resentment. And, we need to stop replaying this in our minds, like a broken record. You make yourself a prisoner to those thoughts and those feelings. And you're not doing your health or yourself any justice. Anger, resentment, hate, all of that. You're not doing your health, whether it's mental or physical. You're not doing anything positive for yourself, and we need to move past that. And, we talk about here, and, I've mentioned it before, we need to go back to square one. Going back to square one is very rejuvenating. It's very beneficial to our health and well-being. I've had to reinvent myself many times in my life. And while it's been scary and while it's been challenging, it's been amazing. And it's had some really productive and wonderful things happen in my life. So one of the thoughts that we can probably have, when something has hurt us very deeply, is if this hasn't happened, my life would be perfect. Now, we all know this is not realistic, but there are some people out there who thrive on it. And what they do is their reasoning for not wanting to forgive is it gives them the excuse for anything and everything that goes wrong in their lives. If they would let it go and move on with their lives and actually heal and forgive and become healthier, they don't have that excuse for their hurt and their lives, not going in a right way. We really need to work really hard on getting out of that victim mentality. We're all responsible for our lives. We are definitely going to have other people who are going to have an effect on our lives, and especially in the work environment, but that also includes family, friends, whoever. But we should not play the victim. That's not an excuse. And we shouldn't be using that as an excuse. That's honestly pretty pathetic to do that. So what if we don't want to forgive someone? And I've been in this position, I've eventually worked through it, but we do go into these scenarios. We play the what if game. You know, what if the person who hurt you doesn't want to admit it? Um, how can we forgive someone who doesn't want to understand that they hurt you, or if they just don't want to show any remorse whatsoever? Um, what if you just can't handle, you know, forgiving that person? Now, in the research that I've done, and this was really interesting, in what I found, um, as a human being, we are all free. It's our choice to decide who we will and who we won't forgive. We have that power in ourselves to do one or the other. Now, the popular two options that everybody thinks is out there is, we can forgive ourselves and release ourselves from the hurt we feel, or we can refuse to forgive and just be kept in this prison of reliving the horror and the heartbreak that we have experienced and just go with those thoughts. But I found that there's actually a third option, and it's called acceptance. And acceptance can allow you to do a lot of things. It allows you to get this emotional poison, out of your head. It allows you to be true to yourself. And I think we all need to do that. We can't be true to anybody else unless we start being true to ourselves and who we are. You know, we need to start by forgiving ourselves. We've all hurt other people. I don't care who you are or what you've been through. We need to forgive ourselves of, the mistakes we've made if we've hurt somebody else. We need to be realistic about that. And we need to make the choice. Do we want to get along with the person that hurt us? You don't have to like them. You don't have to love them, but you may be in a scenario where you have to feel that it's in your best interest. And mostly I'm referring, to obviously a work environment. But, acceptance involves a lot of the following. We need to be aware of our own feelings, of our emotions. We need to let go of the feelings of revenge, which we all feel, that we want to get back at someone. But I can promise you that if you do go through with revenge, it does not make things better. It actually makes you feel a lot worse. And the hurt just grows. So we need to not have that feeling of revenge. We need to stop being obsessive and focusing on the negative thoughts that are going through our mind. We need to really fight against that. We need to reach out to, there are so many different things out there that can help us, whether it's meditation or mindfulness, the relaxation. There are tools out there that we can use to help ourselves, help ourselves relax and get to a point where we're fighting these negative thoughts that are coming at us. We need to look at whatever that person's done for us, what are they going through? Now, I'm not saying that forgives them of how they acted. That's not what I'm saying. The one person in my life that's probably hurt me the most in my life was actually a manager in my past. And it took me over a lot of time to forgive them. It was definitely a journey, and I have, to an extent. The reason I came to that decision is the fact that their personal life is a mess. They don't forgive. They hold grudges. They're very materialistic. Their family, there's inner fighting. It's really sad and pathetic to an extent. So that's what helped me get to the point where I forgave them. Now, do I forget? Absolutely not. And do I feel like they've brought themselves to that point because they don't forgive? That's on them. That's not on me. That doesn't mean that I shouldn't forgive them for what they do. They are going to have to answer for their act of non-forgiveness and their acts of cruelty. But that does not give me the right to not forgive them because of who I am. Um, you know, I have to also honestly look at myself. And I've looked back at people who have hurt me in the past. And in some cases, I have found that I have to take some responsibility for what I added to the situation. And I'm very regretful. And I feel bad for my part in it. But I can also say that in every case in my past, there are some that I really have done some soul searching and I have not played any part in it because of who the individual is and what their situation in their life is. But I do take responsibility for the situations that I found I did. Um, and I need to take steps. I need to be proactive and take steps in my life and to protect myself from allowing these situations to happen again. I don't want to be hurt again. I don't want to hurt anybody else, but I need to be proactive to like uh, protect myself so that the further abuse does not happen. And I have to be really cognizant of what kind of relationships that I need to choose to have in my life. You know, do I want to have a particular relationship in my life? And I've told you, I've chosen to really walk away from some relationships because they were toxic, they were not healthy, and they actually harmed my life. And these individuals didn't think anything about it, so it was best to walk away. So that's a decision we need to make. So, what questions do we really need to ask ourselves to help us forgive? Somebody. I think one thing we really need to think about and decide is it worth the time to go to that person who actually hurt us and not confront them, but have a productive conversation in coming to a better understanding of what happened and have them understand how they hurt us. We really need to think through is it someone who will be accepting? Now, I have had many situations where I know that was not a possibility and I chose just to walk away and not do that. But there are some cases where there are people that will be accepting and we really need to give them that benefit of the doubt. Give them that chance. You know, how can we turn this around? You know, um, and I found that this helps me a lot. Get an impartial person, someone who doesn't know about the situation. And in my case, it's therapy. And I found this has helped me in therapy. When you bring someone into the situation and you explain it to them, they have a very impartial opinion. And we all love our friends, we all love our family, but they are, of course, going to take our side and maybe not see things from an impartial standpoint. When you bring somebody from the outside to look in, it's very, very helpful and to get that fresh point of view and to get that second set of eyes on something, and have I done it to somebody? I always apologize. I am the first one to admit when I do a mistake or did something wrong. I don't want to hurt anybody. I never have. And I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. I make them every day in my life. Um, Another thing though, in my personal life is I have to look at, is this a pattern in my family? In my family, depression is very much hereditary. It's a very real part of my life. So when I have these relationships in my life that have hurt me, I really need to take a look at, is that a pattern that's been in my family and it's something that I need to address to move on from and, look at my relationships from a different perspective. You know, am I reliving this, situation over and over again? That's of a major concern. But any negative situation or circumstance that we have in our lives, we need to understand that they really truly are learning experiences. I have to take all these experiences, and so do you. What have I learned from this? How have I grown from the situation? these negative things that happen. Am I stronger because of it? Is there a positive that's come out of it for me personally? I think anything negative or bad that happens to us, we can always learn from these situations, and we can always become stronger and grow from them. You know, and is it on me? Am I holding on to it? Is it my fault? That I'm not letting go of this. Um, and if not, I need to. I need to figure this out. I need to move on. So what are some steps we can take, to find and get to the point that we're willing to forgiveness? What are some things we can do to initiate the forgiveness process? So one thing is, and this is not one thing I'm good at, but we've talked about it before and I've recommended it before. Write it down. Write it down, make some columns. Make a list of those people who have hurt you, why they've hurt you, and why it's not okay. I don't personally need to write all that down because I know all of that. And I have the list in my head. But if it helps you to write it down, by all means, write it down. And the biggest thing we need to do in this process, acknowledge that someone hurt you. Don't cover it up. Don't hide it. Don't push it away. Acknowledging it, the hurt, is very hard, but acknowledging that it happened is the start of the healing process. And it's the hardest step, is admitting it and moving on. And it's in other areas of mental health as well. We need to make a commitment to ourselves, to make ourselves feel better. We all deserve to get that positive energy back into our lives. And we all deserve to get rid of that negative stuff and bring that positive back into our lives again. I'm sorry, guys. I just had a big blast of wind come and my stuff kind of went flying. But the other thing we need to do is control our thoughts, and we need to be really cognizant about doing that. We're causing our problems and poison to ourselves by hanging on to what's negative. And from a mental and a physical standpoint, we need to physically take those steps to calm our body. We need to get that stress out of our lives, and we need to find positive ways to do that. And there are so many things out there, that tools that are available to us that we can do that. Whether it's mindfulness, whether it's meditation, whether it's relaxation techniques, yoga, whatever it is that you can find something that you can bring into your life to physically bring that calmness into your life while letting go mentally. We need to also remind ourselves, and I don't think a lot of us do this, I think it gets lost in the shuffle, is we need to remind ourselves, what are we thankful for in our lives? There are really so many days where I have a bad day at work, or I'm really down on myself that I am not providing enough for my family. I'm not being there enough for my friends. Dedicating so much to getting through day to day. I really have taught myself recently I need to take a step back and realize, what am I thankful for? I have such an amazing life, and I remind myself that I am very thankful. I am very grateful for the amazing people I have in my life, whether it's my family, my friends, neighbors. I've really been blessed with a lot of my life, and I choose to concentrate on that rather than the negativity. And I've found that it's really helped me in so many ways to concentrate on that. My energy has, while I'm still tired and while I'm still stressed out, it has helped me to concentrate on what I have positive in my life and move forward. And that's what we need to do. Concentrate on the positive. I know it's hard, and every day it's a struggle for all of us. And there's so much negativity out there, but look at what you do have. It's so amazing, my life. And I would be willing to bet and know that you have so many things in your life as well. You just need to take that step back, you know, and remember that the best revenge that you can take is making yourself happy. I mean, if the people who've hurt you are miserable and they don't recognize it, it's not about you at that point. It's about them. And they can live in their misery, but you don't have to. And you don't need to. And you can take that step to make sure that that energy you have is spent in much more productive ways and can add so much more positive things to your life. And live that life. Take your grievance, and thrive on how you've moved on, where you've come from, what you've learned from it, and it may take time to forgive. In my case, it's been a journey for me. It's been a struggle, and it may have for you too, but you can definitely do it. You can be the better person. You can be the bigger person, and you can be happy. Let those people go into the dust, go into the background, and I promise you, I would be willing to bet they're still miserable in their lives, but you don't need to be. You can move on. You can do this. That's what we're here for. We're here to support each other and to make that difference in each other's lives. So step it up. Find that power in you to do it. I know you can, and I know you will, because we're doing it together. So to sum it up, with that being said, please remember to subscribe. And please remember, we're doing this together. You're not alone. You're never alone. You are always welcome and always free to go on my past broadcasts. I put it out on Facebook. You don't even have to research it. All you need to do is click on the link that I provide, and you can watch any topic at any time on my channel. Subscribe, and please give me the thumbs up to let me know that you're supporting me and you're supporting what I'm doing to be there and to try to help others. Now, I always end, with my teaser, of course, for next week. My topic for next week is kind of something that's kind of funny, but we all have it happen to us, and I thought it'd be really great to talk about it. Every day in our lives, do we not always have people who blame us and put us at fault with something we've done? What we do, what we say, we're always criticized. Day in, day out, every day, whether it's work, it's home, it's in Walmart, wherever it is, we're always criticized for something we do. We're always getting that feedback from someone that we just don't want to hear. So we are going to talk about that next week. How do we react, and what can we do in helping our reactions to someone who blames us for something we've done? So with that being said, I always end all of my broadcasts with my regular ending, which is, we can do this. We got this. I can, and I will. So can you. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here to support you. That's why I'm here learning myself. All these topics that I pick is because it's something from my past. It's experiences that I've learned from. And if you're going through them, I want to be there to help you and to be support for you to know I care. That's what my channel is about. That's what we're here for. So, my friends, I wish you a wonderful rest of the weekend. I hope you have an amazing and safe week next week. So with that being said, goodbye. Take care of yourself, and I will see you here next Saturday, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Same bad time, same bad channel. So goodbye, my friends.